welcome, ladies and gentlemen, creatures of the night, daywalkers. Welcome back to Life Equals Opportunity. And I am now your host, as always, L.E.O. Lothbrook. It's official, it's changed. That is now my name going forward for the rest of my life, L.E.O. Lothbrook. So I hope I find you all well. Obviously I've had some time away, contemplating, reflecting and growing. And here we are, we're back. So coming up over the next week or so, hopefully will be my first interview show. Just editing that at the moment. That process has taken a lot longer than I anticipated. But you know what? It's been fun and I'm enjoying it. So without further ado, let's get back to the daily reflections for the November 25. A powerful tradition. In the years before the publication of the book Alcoholics Anonymous, we had no name. By a narrow majority, the verdict was for naming our book The Way Out. One of our early loan members found exactly 12 books already titled The Way Out. So Alcoholics Anonymous became first choice. That's how we got our name for our book of experience, a name for our movement, and as are now beginning to see a tradition of the greatest spiritual import. Wow. A tradition, so AA tradition, how it developed, page 35 to 36. Beginning with Bill's momentous decision in Aachen to make a telephone call rather than visit a hotel bar. How often has a higher power made itself felt at crucial moments in our history? The eventual importance that the principle of anonymity would acquire was but dimly perceived, if at all, in those early days. There seems to have been an element of chance even in the choice of a name for our fellowship. God is no stronger to anonymity and often appears in human affairs in the guises of luck, chance, or coincidence. If anonymity somewhat fortuitously became the spiritual basis for all of our traditions, perhaps God was acting anonymously on our behalf. Ooh. Let's read it one more time then. Daily Reflections, November the 25th. A powerful tradition. In the years before the publication of the book, Alcoholics Anonymous, we had no name. By a narrow majority, the verdict was for naming our book The Way Out. One of our early loan members found exactly 12 books already titled The Way Out. So, Alcoholics Anonymous became first choice. That's how we got a name for our book of experience, a name for our movement, and as far as we are now beginning to see, a tradition of the greatest spiritual import. AA tradition, how it developed, page 35 to 36. Beginning with Bill's momentous decision in Aachen to make a telephone call rather than visit a hotel bar, how often has a higher power made itself felt crucial at moments in our history? The eventual importance that the principle of anonymity would require but was dimly perceived, if at all. In those early days, there seems to have been an element of chance even in the choice of a name for our fellowship. God is no stronger to anonymity and often appears in human affairs in the guise of luck, chance, or coincidence. If anonymity is somewhat fortuitously became the spiritual basis of all of our traditions, perhaps God was acting anonymously on our behalf. Oh, it feels so good to be back in the studio, I won't lie. So, let's break this up a bit. Traditions, yeah, the traditions are very important. Alcoholics Anonymous book. The name, I didn't know that about the name, and can you imagine if there was more than one book? I know for me, if there was more than one book by this title, I would have read 11 wrong books before definitely choosing this one. I'd have wanted to know what was in all the others before having to turn to this, you know. It's a simple program and I'm able to mess it up in the most monumental ways. And it is, you know, it's a tradition of the greatest spiritual import. Like, for me, that is talking about how important the spirituality is of our program. It is a spiritual program. It's not religious at all. And it's, you know, I like where it says that you know, God's been appearing in our affairs in the guise of luck, chance, coincidence. How many times have you know, do you say, oh, that was lucky, or or that's a coincidence? You know, we say in the big book that there are no coincidences in this world. Nothing happens without reason. Everything is supposed to happen as it does. I'm in an interesting place myself in my recovery at the moment. I'm still working on my recovery, obviously daily. I have slips every now and then. When I say slips, it can be more emotional slips, like the emotional intelligence, or even the spiritual sobriety can slip. And I have to work on these things daily. I have to do my routine, which is becoming it's become a staple part of my recovery, to get up and do the same thing in the morning, to meditate, to pray, you know, to say my gratitude list. All these things I do before even leaving my bedroom, because I found when I don't, the outside world can certainly rock me and test me and push me and whatever you want to say. You know, it's as you're going through and energy is changing, you're getting new energy coming in. You have to release energy, and it's an ever evolving ride, if you like. It's an ever evolving journey. It's always changing. Nothing is still. Nothing stays still too long. Everything changes, everything moves, everything passes, everything comes, everything goes. And that's just my understanding of life now, you know, that we get to become new people. We get to try to be better members of society. And for me, I mean, I'm 4.5 years into actual recovery, just under 2.5 years sober. And it's incredible. Like I'm still learning new skills. I'm still seeing improvements in my daily living. You know, one of the things I still struggle with. I'm looking around at the studio at the moment, and it's a bit messy. It could do with a tidy up. And these are things I'm starting to notice, starting to see it before it's too late. It used to be that I wouldn't see that I was living or working in a mess until I was in the mess. And now over these years, it's slowly changing. Another thing that I struggle with is finances, you know, and I'm learning to put new patterns and new behaviours in and try to change the things I do. You know, one of the things I've changed is what I used to do on payday, for example. You know, I don't wait up anymore and go to the bank as soon as it's in just to check it's in. That's, you know, it was a habit I'd fallen into. And so, I don't know, I guess I'm just talking more about where I'm at today. I've reached out to some people that I've been trying to reconnect with, some family members. And it's not easy. It's really not easy, you know. It's hard when you're this far into recovery, and it's not even far. I'm right at the beginning. I'm a baby, you know, I've only just begun. It's not a long time. But it's certainly long enough for the human brain to be perplexed and confused as to why people aren't coming back. And I have to remind myself of the things I've done, of the trauma I've caused, the torture, the trauma. And although, yes, I've forgiven everybody, it doesn't mean to say that forgiveness will come naturally. Sometimes it will, sometimes it won't. Some people will forgive you, some people won't. I try to live in a way that I don't judge anybody anymore. I don't believe I have the right to judge anyone. When I've done what I have in my life, it doesn't matter how bad somebody is. When they come to me now, I don't judge them. I try to empathise. I try to suggest. I try to tell them what I would do or did do, if they want to know. Or sometimes I'll just listen. You know, sometimes people just want to be listened to. And it is what it is. So I've rambled on long enough. I'm slightly going off track. I'm going to read them one more time, and then I will get them up, and happy days. We are back on the road. Okay. So here we go. A powerful tradition, November the 25th, Daily Reflections. In the years before the publication of the book, Alcoholics Anonymous, we had no name. By a narrow majority, the verdict was for naming our book The Way Out. One of our early loan members found exactly 12 books already titled The Way Out. So Alcoholics Anonymous became the first choice. That's how we got a name for our book of experience, a name for our movement, and as far as we are now seeing, a tradition of the greatest spiritual import. AA tradition, how it developed, page 35 to 36. Beginning with Bill's momentous decision in Aachen to make a telephone call rather than to visit a hotel bar. How often has that higher power made itself felt at crucial moments in our history? The eventual importance and that principle of anonymity would acquire was but dimly perceived, if at all, in those early days. There seems to have been an element of chance even in the choice of the name for our fellowship. God is no stranger to anonymity and often appears in human affairs in the guise of luck, chance or coincidence. If anonymity somewhat fortuitously became the spiritual basis for all our traditions, perhaps God was acting anonymously on our behalf. I just picked up on something that second time around where it says about beginning with Bill's momentous decision in Aachen to make a telephone call rather than visit a bar. It's reaching out, that's when the old habits are starting to are coming up, and we need to find new ways to engage, new ways to move forward and deal with those thoughts. And obviously, so instead of going to a bar, Bill picked up the phone and rang somebody, hence 12-step work, I guess, began. Anyway, that was just something I picked up as I was reading it second time round. I hope you've enjoyed the show. I love you all tremendously. It's great to be back. Big welcome, a big hello and shout out to all of my fellow listeners who are coming back, all of the people on my journey. And thank you. Just thank you for tuning in and giving me the time to try and put a message out there. Anyway, I love you all. Peace.